I thought that you were sounding a bit louder
Louder
previously,
last
but
time.
yeah, now it's clear. Maybe
Better.
like,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, okay.
We are live now.
Yes.
I think. I hope.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is the fourth session, is
So
it?
yeah,
The
it's a fourth session.
fourth session today, yes.
Yeah. Can't
Yeah.
believe that it's already the fourth session.
Yes, I think all the conversations have led to realizing that there is more to be discussed. There's always something new that comes out of conversations that should be
That's true.
spoken about. Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about sell through
Yesterday.
yesterday, and then we also talked about cover day before yesterday. So there are the three most things that all retailers should know for so that they can have like a they can get they can achieve their top lines, and also they can make some money with a
Yes.
decent bottom line. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so the third one is the
The rate of
is
sales.
is going to be rate of sales. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
I
we have.
think right before we had the call, we did try and see the difference between rate of sales and how is it different from weekly sales. Because I think that's maybe weekly sales is maybe a more common term or common indicator that people look at. But
Right.
what makes rate of sales even more um, detailed or accurate is because it takes into account the distribution, number of channels the product has been sent to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, rate of sales as a calculation that we saw was total number of sale, I think in units, and
Yes. The number
divided
of
by
weeks.
number of weeks that the option or the piece was there in the retail stores, divided by the number of stores, right?
Yes. So it
So
takes
it
into
is,
account all of these three
yeah,
numbers.
it's number of basically it is how much it's sold per week per store.
Yes. Yes. And weekly sales is how much you're selling every week. It's
Per
not
week.
taking into consideration. So it's like a very top line number that on an average, the business sells this, or a product line sells this every
Right.
week. But it doesn't take into consideration how long has the line been on the shop floor and sorry, not how long has the line been, but how many stores has the line been sent to.
Yeah, because then only then the comparison becomes logic, right? Because
Yes.
because some pieces can be in 10 stores and some pieces can be in like 20 or 30 stores, and when you see average piece sold all together, maybe some pieces in 30 stores, so it'll give a big number because you bought lot and you've put it in all the stores. So average sales will only tell that how much it is sold, but it doesn't gives you a clear idea what's per store. And to know really whether it's a good it's a fast mover or not, then you need to divide it by number of stores so that you can compare all the merchandise, because some can go in 20, like say for example there are certain styles that will go in all A, B and C stores. There are certain
Yeah.
styles which will only go in your bigger stores. There are certain styles which will only go to your A stores or only go to your C stores. So by dividing it by the number of stores, then you also get that, okay, so per store, how much has it sold per week? So that's like
Yes.
a pretty, a sharper number to compare one option with another, right? Like, or one category with another.
Yes. I think all this like sell through, cover, and rate of sales, I mean, those are the right indicators when you're comparing different products with each other, which were launched at a certain period of time. What was the inventory that was bought for that particular line? So how are you comparing lines which were essentially meant for different things? So these are the indicators that help you. Otherwise,
That's true.
from a very top line perspective, it's not a very accurate picture. It's not enough to make a decision.
Right.
So I think for decision making, rate of sales,
Is good.
weekly trading is an important number to look at. And yeah, when you look at a store that's selling certain products, they would know what's happening in the store. But when you're like sitting in a head office, or you're sitting in a central place looking at everything that's happening, this is what will help you. Otherwise, yeah, getting into the
That's true.
sales of every store is ideal, but I think when you're not running the store yourself, it is very difficult if you have many stores to handle.
Yeah.
So I think
So
that's,
in when I was working in Dubai,
yeah.
what we used to do is we used to see rate of sales for the first, I think, a week, and we would almost decide which styles are doing well and which styles are not doing well. And in the second by the second week, we would air the ones that are doing well. We would
Okay.
reorder immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would give, because everything, all the designs approval, everything is done. It's the same factory, same place. So what
Hmm.
we would do is on the second week we would give an order, so that we can relaunch on the mid season, because we know that if it's going to sell at this pace, then we're going to be out of stock very quick. So just to, and we know that in the first 2 weeks that these are the ones, these are A designs, or A options, and B options, C options. We would kind of classify them. And then one thing is that we would reorder. We'll make sure that this option is there across all stores, and also we'll make sure that it comes back faster. So
Okay.
one time what had happened is, we had one top, and then it had the edges was fraying, right, which is like the threads were all coming out, but then it was an a stock. And the company that I worked with, they were very ethical. They were very ethical, and they're very aggressive. They were going very fast, and they were very ethical also. So what they did is all the merchandise was selling, and then they kind of knew their customers, that people in Dubai, they just buy a top, they maybe wear it for once or twice, and they throw it off. So they have that understanding of their customer, and they
Yeah.
know that these styles were fraying, and if it goes for washing, then it's going to fray more. But still, we did not charge back to the to the vendor, and we reordered more. And again, the quality was not that good, but still we reordered more, because we knew that it's going to sell well. So that's how, like, we were in our department, we were trying to achieve, like, if our targets were 100%, we were trying to achieve 110, 120, because in just after launch, we would just keenly look at which is doing well, and by the second week we will reorder immediately, because we know that those are going to sell really well.
Okay. Yeah. I think it is also dependent on how lean your the lead time is from factory to shop. So it
Yeah, so that
sounds
also
like that
has
you
to
did
be.
have like vendors who could deliver instantly. I think for me, I haven't worked for any retailer where or brand where the lead times have been like so short. I've actually worked. I've done the opposite, like where we had to like forecast for product lines with very long lead times. Except for maybe the FMCG where the covers were small, where the covers were like under 2 weeks, and
Right.
it's a ready product. All you have to do is like put a purchase order in and reorder, because they're not manufacturing; they're already sitting on a big stock that you can order
Right.
from. But
Makes sense.
in apparel, I haven't seen that. But yeah, I think it's also dependent on how quickly, what the turnaround time is. And it sounds like your retailer did have that kind of support from units.
Yeah, I think so. They were buying from China, and
Okay.
this guy in China, I think they understand fast fashion, and
Yeah, because,
so there's
and I'm
because
sure like they must be hitting the minimums, because then there are lots to be considered. So if you're selling volumes on a product line, I think the
yeah, we
factories also
almost
don't
double the
mind.
order. So if
Okay.
we
Yeah.
bought X number of quantity, then in 10 days we will see which does well, and we would order another same X. So almost we will double those categories, and then it was a big hit. Whatever that we did do well. So eventually we wouldn't consume all our 100%. So in OTB, which we'll talk I think on another day, but we did not consume our budgets. We would kind of wait for the first week, and then we would, whichever does well, we would kind of reorder, and then fulfill, because we know for sure that these pieces are going to do well. Instead of taking risk of all 100% of the launch, we would launch
Yeah.
a little less, and the ones which does well in the first 10 days, we would reorder, and it used to come within 3 months. So 10 days, 10th day, if you order, we would air it also, and then so it will come
Yeah.
on the third month. So we have another 3 months, and we know the rate of sale, so we know how much
Yeah.
it is going to sell. So we have, so it was like a short. We had like a clear understanding, because we had a clear understanding, and we know that this is not going to go for discount. So that margin we kept it for taking it on air, because these were all FOB. So we have to pay for the shipping charges.
Yeah.
So we would ask the vendor to air it. No, they're not FOB. FOB, then they have to pay, I think. These were all ex factory. These were all ex factory. So
Okay.
we had to pay for the transport.
Okay.
So we would air it.
Okay. Yeah. And I think rate of sales also like helps you understand the forward sales. So if you feel that the sales is going to go up, like every week you will be seeing like a 10% increment because of XYZ reasons, you can also, forecast how many units you might need. If your rate of sales you feel is going to increase in the coming weeks, and maybe that's what you guys were working on, because you said you doubled your orders, so you were forecasting that the sales will be higher than what you're
Right.
seeing
Yes. Yes.
currently. And I think
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what rate of sales literally helps you with. And
Yeah.
it also tells you that until the end of the season, how much sales, what is the closing stock you will end the season with. So you,
Right.
whatever stock you're sitting on, you just like put your forward factor of whatever weeks are left in the season, and then you have sold so much inventory, and this is the closing stock left on
That's
this
true.
product line. So I think it's quite an important, I think, indicator. I
Yeah,
would
it's
say
a
that
very
is
important
one of the
indicator.
important ones.
Yeah,
Like,
it's one of the important indicator. So the only problem with rate of sale was that if the size becomes broken, then it would start showing. It
a
wouldn't be a proper indicator, because the it would start showing a wrong number, because it'll say that it's not selling well, but actually it's not selling well because the sizes are not there. People want to buy, but then they're not able to buy.
yes.
Yeah, so only when the sizes are broken it starts. So for the first 10 days we would see it with a lot of interest, because first 10 days, mostly for the first 1 week, and then we would extend. We don't want to make a decision on the first 1 week, so we would give it like another couple of days time. Maybe
Yeah.
two weekends we would see the sale to have an accurate number, because if you go beyond that time, then it starts having broken size sets, and the numbers won't be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the side not a disadvantage, but one of the things that you have to keep
Yeah. Yeah.
in yeah,
No,
that
absolutely correct. Yeah. You would. I mean, the fragmentation of size sets will affect the sales, because I mean, at
right.
any given point of time, you do have sizes that are the best selling sizes in a size set. And if you don't
That's
have
true.
those and you have fringe sizes but full, like the numbers looking really big, that doesn't mean sales going to happen, or sales going to happen as much as it was happening when the full size was available. And I
That's true.
also feel rate of sales is important in your production plans for core. It will give you an accurate picture of where you say a replenishment is required, at which point in the coming weeks is a drop required of replenishment, what is the quantity that is required. I think rate of sales helps you forecast that. And even during the buying plan, like when you're planning any identical line, if you're doing a different color but you had something similar, we would always look back historically and see what was the rate of sales of similar product lines, and then that's
Right.
what you base your forecast on. That's what your buying plan is made on. So that number was also important
Right.
during
Yeah, that's true.
planning season, where you're planning the ranges and buying the
That's true.
ranges, and then yes, trading and replenishment, and maybe stock projection, placing orders with factories. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to think like where else was it important, or what affects it. I think rate of sales, like you said, that if you're looking at your rate of sales in the couple of weeks, the first weeks, yes, full availability of size sets can affect how a product line is selling. The rate of sales might be high when full size sets are available, and it might go down when it's broken. Also, we would also look at like when this product is retailing, what's the offer on the shop floor? What are the other products that are offered? Sometimes when you launch newer collections, it I becomes like, there are some products where you will pick this and this, and sometimes it's this or this. So, sometimes like another product line will eat up the sales. So you
Right.
would choose one of the two. And in certain products which are complementary, you might pick this and you'll be like, oh, I love this color. Let me buy it in a few other colors. But in some, if it's a basic thing, you might just end up buying one. So it's also important to see what's the rest of the option that was offered when your product was doing well or when it wasn't doing well. Was the availability on another line low, because of which people gravitated to this product? So, the decision making depends on how you're looking at those numbers week on week
Right.
to have an understanding of your category. But yeah, it's like an important indicator for sure.
Yeah. So the one that you said that this and this and this or this is the one for the end consumer when they're buying. Is that what you're talking about, or for a buyer who buys
So, for
plants
example,
for a
if
range, or
somebody's
the end
looking for
consumer?
a journal, a gratitude journal for, let's see, like, let's talk about a completely different category. So, if a customer is looking for a gratitude journal and you give them 10 options of a gratitude journal, they will just pick up one. But now
Right.
with the gratitude journals, you're also selling these really nice pen sets. So it becomes this and this.
Right.
Whereas
Right. Right.
different options of gratitude journals are this or this. So
Right.
you
Yeah.
also look at like what is affecting your rate of sales and what's the offer in the shop floor. So let's say you just launch one gratitude journal, and for a couple of weeks it's the only gratitude journal. The rate of sales will be higher. Now in the third week you send nine more options. It will affect
Okay.
your rate of
Like
sales.
because
But
people
in
are
the third
buying
week you
each.
send more pens. This will
Right.
continue selling, uh, giving you
Yeah.
similar
So
sales if it's a good
you're saying
product.
that, so that comes to a conversation of a cross sell. So if there
Yes.
is a cross sell that's there in within category or between categories, then the rate of sale will not affect, because people are going to buy, they're going to cross sell, like they're going to buy a trouser and a belt, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, and then
I mean, it's
if
worth it
it's
to
going to
always
be
look
like an
at,
upsell,
yeah.
if there's an upsell option, then for an upsell option, maybe they're going to buy this trouser, or an expensive trouser, or this trouser,
Yeah.
or another variation of that trouser. Then maybe if you increase the, if you see that the rate of sale is high, then if you increase a new product range, yeah, so then it
Yeah.
may affect the previous one. So you have to see. So you're saying that for a better sale, then it's always introduce a cross sell rather than too much of an upsell or in the same category, right?
I mean, yes, and but the it could be like a buying decision at the beginning of the season that we want to have 10 options of gratitude journals. Then it's a question of when do you launch it? Do you let the first option run out completely and then introduce the rest one by one? Or do you introduce all of them together and give an option? So I mean, these numbers just help you come arrive at a decision, which could be
Right.
then,
Yeah.
affected by what is the brand decision, how is the brand perceived by customers, what are they looking at, how's the footfall, how often does a repeat customer walk into the store. So yeah, how often do you need to refresh the collection? Maybe that, but at the point of buying, I think you should be looking at cross sales and if it's going to be and or is it an or this
Right.
and this or that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So yeah, makes sense. Yeah. And also, yeah, and also we have to have some options, right? Like, I mean, even for a rate of sale to be good for a particular, like in this case, a journaling book, then you need to give some. I mean, you cannot have one or two. You need to have some width of for that subcategory, so that you need
Yes.
to have some options for them to even at least choose one amongst them,
Yes.
right? So a minimum and options, which is like this or this, could people need to you, I mean, when we plan the retail merchandiser or the buyer needs to think about it, for a decent rate of sale. So that,
Yes. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
yes. So when you're choosing like this or this kind of a product. So if you're choosing among gratitude journals, maybe there could be like a couple of gratitude journals which you feel will sell more because of the color or because of the text inside. Then you buy deeper into those, and you still offer like a wide assortment in your gratitude journals, but in two of them you're buying a uh, deeper those are like deeper buys, and the rest
Makes
you
sense.
feel might just sell, they might just infuse some interest or some color or some choice. So they just do that job of just pulling the footfall into a section. So those are calls, yes,
Yeah.
you would be making it at the beginning of the when you're doing your plan, uh, buying plan. Like how wide does it need to be, or how or is it just like one and a deep buy and that's it? So those are
Yeah.
questions you would be. So I think that there are, yes, when you're building your buying plan, there are like lots of questions that you would be answering. Some would be affected by numbers. Some would be affected by what's happening around the what's happening with competition around you. Who are you competing with? um, and then yeah, just an understanding of who your customer is, what are they looking for, or what are you trying to sell them. I think some is also maybe intuitive. There is some part of intuitiveness in buying, but most of it is based on these numbers. But yes, I think you have to have like that buyer's gap or that sense on as well.
Yeah, I think in the future, if AI takes over the buying and merchandising, maybe AI. I mean, where would the intuition go? I mean, AI has to look at the
See,
data, right? I mean,
yeah, I think because I when I started working, I was in the I was started as a buyer. So
uh-huh.
because I mean, we have studied in the same college and done the same course where it's very theoretical, but on the ground, we had to develop this sense of, choice as a buyer. You're expected to have that choice. So I
That's true.
remember some senior buyer was showing us different kurtas, and she was good holding those and walking around the whole office and asking people this or this, this or this or this. She was literally asking, trying to understand. So at that point when she came to me, all of them looked the same, but she wanted an answer from me. So as a buyer, you have to develop that sense that out of those four options, which one is it, which one would you gravitate towards, what
Which
would
will
you
do well,
buy,
right? Yeah.
and then back it with some reason. And I think in any buying department, there would be at the end of the season, when you're looking at how the season did, there are lessons learned that you have to, look at. So you do all your
Yeah.
lessons learned, like did the pricing work? Did the color work? Did you buy too little into the little or too much? Was there overstocking at the end? How much margins? What were the margins looking like? So there's lots that goes into it, which AI might be able to look at when it's just numbers, but that sense that we had to build was, yeah, I think every buyer ran categories differently, and
Yeah, that's true.
you could literally see when the buyers in some of the brands change. You could see the categories on the floor changing. I don't know how much, from a customer's perspective, you're able to gauge that change, but when you're in this industry, you can see that okay, something's happened here. The bags have suddenly started looking different, especially for
Right.
retailers that have private labels. Once the buyer changes, you see it's almost like a chef preparing a dish, and then you go back to the restaurant time and again, and then
Right.
suddenly you're like, no, this doesn't taste the same, and you realize that the chef has changed. Someone else is preparing a dish. So
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know, like I really don't know about AI, but I think analytical part, data part, um, all that I guess probably are running reports.
So there's this classic question, no, when we studied, there's this eye to fashion. So what is eye to fashion? So eye to fashion is, I think, kind of what you're explaining, that the buyer has to have that uh, intuition or the capability to understand what's going to come, and how is the trend going to, what is it
Yeah.
going to become,
Yeah.
through yeah, through the data, through the experience, a mix of a gut feeling, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, I think
And
that was the answer for, yeah.
yeah, because like the kurtas that I was talking about, I mean that retailer was like a big known retailer in India, and the kurtas department was so strong. The identity of the kurtas was so strong, and the customer walking into the store knew what they were looking for, and they knew they would find it. They knew the fit they were going after, and they knew that there would be a new option available. So they literally dressed up the Indian audience, kurta wearing audience, and maybe like
Mm-hmm.
shaped their choices. Like that's how
Right.
powerful a buyer can be
That's
once
true.
they
That's
understand
true.
and they have a very strong grip on. And I think even the vendor who was supplying to the retailer at that time, as the business grew, the vendor also grew. So it was not just the
Right.
vendor pocketing money; it was also the supplier supplying these kurtas that grew with the
Yeah,
business.
yeah, that always happens. No, like I've seen so many manufacturers for Walmart, manufacturers for H&M. They start very in a they've always had a humble beginning because they worked with Walmart, and exactly when Walmart was growing, these Indian manufacturers, they grew like really really big. Like they almost grew as big as the biggest manufacturer in that town. Yeah, so that's always a blessing when when you start working with retailers who really know what they're doing or really understand their customers,
Yeah.
and working with them, you can actually, do well or grow. I mean, literally the entire Tirupur has been built by all the good retailers who understood about their customers in US.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's there.
Completely. Yes. So I think
And,
yes, that
and
that
especially,
intuitiveness, that uh, experience of buying, that develops, and how you understand the category, how you trade the category, how you it's very individual to every buyer. Whoever takes over runs it a certain way,
that's true,
and
yeah.
yeah, I think like
It's almost
again
like
like the
the chef
retailer,
in
like
the restaurant.
yeah, one of the retailers, like the home buyer changed, who was doing soft furnishing, and then you could tell that the buyer's gone, and nobody could replace the buyer, because what the buyer was able to create, no other buyer was able to do or replicate that kind of collection and understanding of colors and textures and the kind of offers they were. So the category did suffer. So yes, I think it that's like a very delicate balance of yeah, like product appreciation or understanding of a
Yeah, eye
very,
to fashion, no? The
yes,
data
eye
and
to
eye to fashion,
fashion.
or
Yeah.
product appreciation. Yeah, product
Yes.
appreciation
Yeah,
also is one
product
of the
appreciation,
classic
fashion
questions.
appreciation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yes, just some understanding of that. Oh, if you buy
Yes,
this
yes.
colored um, curtains, your house will look like this. If you want to give it a more luxurious look, this is what it looks. So it's somebody to just envision the whole thing. I think that's also the buyer's role. The buyer
Yeah,
is
that's
not just
true.
sitting and making numbers, but it's the buyer is literally envisioning the product in the store. How is it looking? How is it appealing to the customers? And then also the end customer. How is the customer using it? Whether the
That's
buyer
true.
is dressing up women across the country in kurtas season after season after season, and there would be like lines like during end of season sale to get the last piece. There would be like queues
Yeah,
outside. It was that
that's true. Yeah.
popular.
That, yeah, yeah. I mean, the international, the Zara in Dubai was almost like that. We used to have like a stampede,
Okay.
and there used to be line, and you cannot once you can only try out clothes only once in the yeah, only
Like
once.
treating
Like
it
you
like
don't.
a luxury brand almost.
Yes, yes. It was
Like
a
people,
stampede, and it was.
yeah. I think maybe Dubai retail is just very different. Like if you were to compare it and study it, I think it will be very different to
Yeah,
how
yeah. It's very
retail
different.
happens in any
Yeah,
other
yeah.
city around the world. Yeah.
Any other country, yes, it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
different.
I think it's maybe like very unique to uh, Dubai, the
Yeah, yeah.
consumer
Dubai or the
patterns.
Middle
Yeah.
East.
Yeah.
You need to all the Middle East. I think UAE, and especially UAE, Kuwait, and and this thing, what's that kingdom of what? Um, the biggest
Which
one where Riyadh is a capital city.
okay.
Forgot.
You're asking
Yeah,
me the
Saudi
wrong
Arabia.
question from
Saudi
merchandising to
Arabia.
I
Saudi
can't
Arabia.
think of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia.
Okay, Saudi Arabia. Yes.
Saudi,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's called
You
Kingdom
said
of Saudi
kingdom and I
Arabia,
was
right?
thinking of like some other place. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think Dubai
Yeah,
is
they
like the
also call themselves
retail
the kingdom.
capital of the world. People are going there to just shop and they go with the
In
intention
Dubai.
of shopping. So,
Yeah, but then that's what people think. But the highest sale happens doesn't happen in Dubai. The highest sale
oh,
happens in yeah, it happens in Saudi Arabia. The number one is Saudi
wow.
Arabia. Number
Okay, I
two
had no
is
idea.
yeah. Number two is not Dubai. The other Abu Dhabi. Number
Mm-hmm.
three is Dubai, and number four is Kuwait.
Okay.
In terms of cities,
All
Kuwait
right.
is yeah, the capital. Bahrain is the
Yeah.
capital city of Kuwait, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, something like that.
Because
Yeah,
I think
I could be wrong. Yeah,
yes, I think it's such a different picture, and I'm sure like they also like end up selling a lot of product full price. I feel that that was the difference that I saw in India and UK. I feel maybe there are more discounts offered here in the UK. India would still sell lots of products full price. Maybe
right,
like
right. That's
a
true.
they would have a better sell through full price.
In
But
India,
here
no,
they
yes.
struggle. So people are looking for a discount. They are looking
Yeah,
for a
because
promotion. They want something. So I think when I was with my first employer here in the UK, there was no concept of Black Friday sales. And we were talking like we were having a conversation in that it's such an American concept. And now when you look, like there is a Black Friday sales. They have been pressured to give a discount and a
yeah,
Cyber Monday after that, right
yes,
after that.
yes.
So you can't get away with like being a retailer here in the UK. You can't get away with not
Without a Black
giving
Friday,
these
right? Yeah.
promotions and discounts. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Actually, one of the socio-economic factor is that the lesser entertainment a city has, the more sales that happens, more
Ah,
fashion sales happens because that
okay.
becomes one of the entertainment. So Saudi sells more because they don't have any other revenue apart from the only legal entertaining activity that they can do is go to malls and shop. There's
Okay.
no
Yeah, that
theaters
makes
there.
sense. That makes
There's no
complete sense.
theater. There is no movies in the house is also banned. I think music is also to some extent banned. So almost everything is banned there, and especially for women. So I was taking care of young women's category. So there is no entertainment for young women. So the only legal thing that they can do is they can go to malls. They are allowed to go to malls. They are allowed to shop.
Mm-hmm.
So it is one of the like the legal and one of the most popular entertainment there in the Saudi Arabia. Um,
Yeah.
this was some time back. Now I think there are some developments, but still there are no theaters, I think. Yeah. So
Okay.
therefore, the sales was high. In Dubai, people have many things to do, like Dubai. So people buy clothes. That's one of the activity that people do. Like there are so many activities that's there in Dubai. Dubai is a tourist space. So in Dubai, the garment sales is much less.
Okay.
Yeah, or garment or retail sales is not
All
that.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because people buy TV, people buy other things, so their
Oh,
budgets gets split.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that that might be true. Yes.
I think
But
same holds for India also. The entertainment is less, so people kind of malls become one of the shopping becomes one of the entertainment. But I think in the West there are like there are theme parks and so many things to do outside
and yeah, I
that
mean
they
you
don't
can
have
just be
to.
outside also, outdoor.
And yeah,
Generally,
the
you
weather
don't
is
need
still
like
weather
entertainment.
is
You can just be outside and
yeah,
it's nice to be. Yeah. Okay.
outside, and there are public places that's there. Here,
True.
if you have to go to a safe and an AC place, it's mostly the malls
Yeah.
uh,
And I
or
think
the
yeah, maybe
retail.
like even like behavior, consumer behavior is changing. I think I don't know when exactly, but there was a study done where they said that people now want to spend on experiences instead of buying a luxury handbag. People want to spend the same money on an experience. So, which is like travel somewhere, go on a retreat, you know, experience a new culture in a country for a month living there.
Right.
So, this was like long ago. So, I think that that's also changing. I'm
Yeah,
sure
but
patterns have changed after COVID.
yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the things that people can do. So then they have to split their budget into other things apart from just buying
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I think
I
we
think, yeah, I
started
think
with
there is
the
like,
rate of sale
yeah.
and we went. I think, but indirectly, all of these are important to understand the rate of sale also.
I think, yes,
Yeah.
now that we've spoken about most of the important indicators uh, that you would use to analyze your data for decision making and for different comparisons, um, maybe like we could talk about the buying plan, which is maybe if you treat it as the first stage. And for a startup, maybe that is the first stage.
Yeah. So,
So
yeah, we can talk about buying plan. Yeah.
maybe next
Or,
we can, or benchmarking, or how do you look at, how do you do a competitor analysis? I remember like doing, I don't know how many competitor analysis in college,
oh, yeah. Oh,
and we had
yeah.
to do it
So,
discreetly. I remember
yeah, so
like,
for me it was I think we'll talk about it because for me I was in Dubai and I had to understand and I was put into young women's category and I
yeah,
had to understand young women's category in Dubai, so I had to go to all, and it was like a conservative society, but I have to go to all the young women's
women
store. It
section.
was like pretty traumatic. We'll talk about it. I think maybe
I
it
can
was
totally relate because, yeah, we students have gone with their diaries, taking notes, and been kicked out of malls. Back like in
yeah,
India, I remember in
that's true.
Kolkata, we were like
That's
banned. We were like, nobody from this college can come to the mall.
true.
And so yeah, I think, but now I think people are recording and like making videos
Yeah.
everywhere. Like in today's age of social media, I don't think it's as tough. But yes, for us it was difficult, and like what you're saying, I can totally imagine. Yeah,
Yes. Very much, yeah.
yeah,
And we'll talk about, I think, one of the, yeah, the next week maybe we can talk about the competitive analysis, and I'll also, yeah, share yeah, what all the things that I did too.
yeah. Like for creating a buying plan for which is whether for a established retailer or even for a startup, like what are
Yeah,
the points you should be considering taking
that's
looking
right.
at? Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that, I think, in the next live
Okay.
session.
All
Yes.
right.
Cool. Yeah. 1 second. I think we'll say bye to our
All
viewers.
right. Thank you for watching the fourth session of this retail story. We will see you in the next one.
Yes. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.